telling all these virgins, like, hey, you need to go buy a Lamborghini, and that'll make you a G.
Oh yeah, because I mean,
that's how you become
Scottie
cool.
Pippen is rich, and Future still hit his wife. So money makes everything.
That did happen.
I saw beauty in her pain. So I just had to make it rain. She's a starry girl, her vibing out of space. Angel on the pole, she my saving grace. Girl, the baby girl.
Welcome back, everybody, to A Dose of Reality, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you out there for everybody that subscribes, likes, comments, all the great comments we've had lately, and by great, I mean you guys are fucking idiots. Thank you. Appreciate it. And, yeah, man, what's going on?
Nothing much.
Oh, yeah, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do so. Thank you.
Nothing much, just chilling.
So how tired are you, scale 1 to 10?
Tired?
Tired.
I'd say a good 4 on the scale.
You look like a 6.
I look like a 6.
You look like a 6 right now.
Yeah.
And not in, that kind of scale, but in the scale of, you look like shit right now, man.
Yeah. Well, I feel like shit, so.
Me too.
Awesome.
That's great. We're on the same page. Talking about shit, man. Taken by storm. Haven't been able to cover it yet, man. Andrew Tate.
G-status. Status, that's what he says. A G-status.
J-status.
J-status. Hey, now listen out there. Do you want to be a G-status man?
What a great guy, right?
I'm Morphia.
Apparently he is.
I'm Morphia. When you drive around in supercars and I can make a phone call and get you in a ditch. I have a terrible accent. I'm butchering his accent.
Yeah, you are. Literally, so anybody who hasn't picked up their phone or gone on the internet lately, Andrew Tate is kind of taking the world by storm because of his takes on certain things and his make-believe facts that he can't fact-check.
Right.
But, out of everything that he said, I feel like people think that there's a couple things that could be a little spot on. But, I mean, everybody's right to say that he is pretty misogynistic because he's got some pretty misogynistic point of views.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no, he's, he can be very misogynistic, very unrealistic in my view, and a lot of things he says.
Well, I mean, anybody that's telling, because, I mean, think about it. Who's really, subscribing to his stuff?
Insecure men.
Virgins.
Oh, and virgins. Well, those are insecure men, though.
Virgins, right.
Yeah, I feel like you don't...
You hit it on the money.
Yeah, and I don't feel like you're secure in yourself until you bust that first nut in the lady, and then you're
right.
Like,
well,
okay.
So he's telling all these virgins, like, hey, you need to go buy a Lamborghini, and that'll make you a G.
Oh yeah, because I mean,
that's how you become.
Scottie
cool.
Pippen is rich, and Future still hit his wife, so money makes everything.
That did happen.
That is a fact. He made a song about it. He said, I just fucked your bitch and some Gucci flip-flops.
That's ridiculous.
Scottie Pippen, that was your bitch.
Dude, put him out there like that on blast.
It's crazy. Yo, he, I guess because Future, Scottie Pippen didn't sign the autograph for Future when he was a little boy, so he was like, I
got you.
I'm going to get back at you.
And he did.
Hilarious. Yeah, he fucked his bitch and some Gucci flip-flops.
That's that butterfly effect shit right there, man. Butterfly flaps on one side of the world, tornado happens on the other.
Hey, man, I had a bar, and I said, I could never be I could never let a hoe Larsa Pippen me. I love Scotty, but I always have more Mike in me. I got you high, I got you drunk. What more you want from me? And that's almost like what Andrew Tate basically preaches, Hey, I got a lot of money, and that's all that matters in life. I can be a piece of shit, and I can, as long as I have some money,
Well, the only thing he's getting, the reason why he's achieving so much publicity, and for how long, nobody really knows. But the reason why he's achieving so much publicity is because of the fact that he's getting other people to share his shit
You know what I think
consistently.
who Andrew Tate reminds me of? 6ix9ine.
Okay.
And I say that because 6ix9ine used to go up on social media during his prime and just say anything. And because he would just say or do anything, people would share it, even if they disagree vehemently with whatever he was doing or saying. But people would share it so much, and it would get so much publicity that 6ix9ine became one of the biggest stars in the world without actually having great music. I'm not saying it wasn't good music. I'm not saying there was a few songs that you listened to in the club that you were like, oh yeah, this is heat. But I'm talking about like great music. He was up there, you know, in streams, especially like YouTube and stuff. His YouTube streams are always high up, almost in that stratosphere of an NBA YoungBoy or a Drake. You know what I mean? In that stratosphere as far as listens. And a lot of it was just because, hey, I'm going to say or do the craziest thing, and hopefully I get a lot of publicity off of it. And it worked. And now you see more and more people just doing that. Because, truthfully, how much of what Andrew Tate says do you actually believe?
It's not the fact that I actually believe it. I feel like so many people don't believe it, and that's why they're reposting it.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
like, look at this asshole saying whatever, saying that women can't drive or whatever else he said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why they're reposting it, because it's like, wow, look at this guy.
Yeah.
And, of course, the whole woke movement, you know what I mean, is probably drilling down his throat with all the things that he says.
But, yeah, in his case, all publicity is great publicity.
Right. Especially now.
I mean, like, it's almost like Trump, too. You know, he has that same, those three people. Kanye is similar. I'm not saying, like, and in a way where Kanye doesn't, I don't think, say, I think a lot of the stuff he actually may believe, and he doesn't say as wild and outlandish shit, but these people who just kind of make money and make publicity off of just being like, hey, I'm gonna say whatever, you know. And like, I don't know if it's bad for society, but it's definitely interesting.
I think what's really interesting is that you have somebody like Andrew Tate, and he says whatever the fuck he wants to say.
Absolutely.
Right. But then you have somebody that might have said something or might have did something, or when Lizzo had to take spazzing out of her song, and situations like that where these artists are like, okay, you know, I'm having a lot of negative backlash from the community, so I'm going to have to go back and either correct my wrongs or change it. You know what I mean? And it's like, and these are the people, the artists, that are doing it unintentionally.
Well, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So they're doing it unintentionally, but then you have somebody like Andrew Tate, or if you want to use the example of Trump, because he said some pretty outlandish things too sometimes. And, I mean, anybody else that I can't really think of right now. I mean,
6ix9ine.
I mean, yeah, besides 6ix9ine, we just said that.
Yeah, no, I mean, here's the thing, though.
It's just crazy that people are actually like going for these artists' throats for unintentionally saying something or doing something, and then he's allowed to get away with whatever he wants to say.
Well, it's like this. For example, the reason why Lizzo is going to be more caring about certain things like that in her and how she's perceived is because she's trying to be a positive.
Well, that's her image, right?
Her image is positive, so
because
she's getting paid off of that, right? So
right, but because she has a positive image, that gives people the right to like slander what she's doing.
No, I don't say it gives them the right.
You know what I mean, though?
But
like,
it's
because if she accidentally does something, like she did,
Right.
she put something in there that's not like okay to say now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she went back and changed that. But it's like Andrew Tate will go out there and say anything, and yeah, he might be criticized, but he's not being threatened to be canceled, is what I'm saying.
Well, but again, that's what I'm saying. He is making money off of the negativity.
Right.
He understands that. I'm a villain. I'm going to make money off of being a villain, right? Well, when you're not and you're trying to be that, it's going to backfire. So, for example, like the Lizzo thing. Like she said something unintentionally,
Right before the rules changed,
and people were trying to cancel her.
Right.
Well, Lizzo is supposed to be that good person. You know, Lizzo's whole thing is I'm a big girl who is trying to make it more acceptable for big girls to be in prominent places of media. So I can't sit there and at the same time say something that's offensive. Whereas Eminem, for example, in the same space, and maybe not now Eminem, but older Eminem could say the F word, right? And the gay slur F word.
Right.
And they would be like, hey, like, that's not okay. And he would be like, well, I'm not going to change it. That's, I'm not meaning to offend anybody, but this is blah, blah, blah. And he's able to just be cool. Still, like, people still love Eminem.
Right.
Even though if that was Lil Wayne who said that now, he would get canceled. They would try to kill him. If that was Kanye or Drake who said that in a song in recent history, well, because in the last album that he dropped, he called Tyler, the creator, the F word. And people said, oh, well, that's just Eminem, though. You know, you can't cancel Eminem. So,
well, they did try to cancel Eminem for a little bit. They tried,
but again, it wasn't.
That was Gen Z.
Yeah, it wasn't. They didn't hit it like how they've hit other people. They didn't really go there and try to really cancel Eminem like that because that's kind of his persona. He's a bad boy. He's vulgar, and so people. I seen gay people defend it like, oh well, it's Eminem though. Like if it was,
but I'm just trying
else.
to figure out what's the line, bro. Like I'm trying to figure out like how are people tallying up? Okay, like this person's done this many things. Like let's cancel them now. Like that's what I'm trying to figure out because just because of your persona and just because of your image doesn't mean that rules, so and so community rules are being changed while the art has already been produced.
Yeah, but if I'm famous off of negative,
then yeah, of course you're going to keep getting famous off of you doing negative things.
That's why I'm saying that's why they don't get canceled. That's why, because it's like, well,
everybody already hates him.
Yeah, so it's entertaining and whatever. I mean, you can't cancel him because the way that you cancel somebody is on social media, usually saying, oh, this is wrong. Let's share this. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Well, with Andrew Tate, everything pretty much that he gets to go viral is wrong. So everybody's like, well, yeah, we already know he's an asshole. So, okay. I mean,
but there's no canceling.
I guess we can't you can't cancel him because that's what he does. That's what.
And people don't understand that they're spreading it like a wildfire. So no matter if they like him or hate him, they share that with the world.
Exactly. So again, there is no incentive for me to stop, right? Like there's an incentive for Lizzo not to say spaz in her music,
right?
Because people are like, yo, Lizzo, I thought you
we don't rock with that,
right?
Even though she was saying it in a completely different way, but right.
I didn't even know like until that whole thing that was even a thing.
Well, no, because in our generation, spaz did not mean deformed in any way or like.
Nah, it just meant you were just tweaking.
Yeah, but like more so like you're just amped up.
Yeah,
you're just
not like tweaking like that, but you're just amped up. And you're like a little too excited.
I'm pretty sure like the line was something like I'm this or I'm gonna spaz. Right. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna do something. But I mean, I guess I understand why people are saying it like that.
I really didn't know. I literally had to look that up, and it's a whole thing. Yeah. Like I was like, wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy because a lot of it's like behind closed doors. Like this is happening.
I've said spaz a couple times in music, not knowing that was like anything at all. Like I just heard Beyonce had to change something too in her last album.
What'd she have to change?
Spaz saying spaz. She
Really?
said spaz. Yeah, because that is something that's been a
It's
part
in
of
the
our
lingo.
culture
Yeah,
and
it's a
lingo
lingo.
for us so long. And I'm not even talking about black culture. I'm just saying like a part of the culture of America. Like we've said that. So to know that that's like, but again, you know, it goes back to if I offend you, you can't, like, I offended you regardless. No matter what I thought, if I offend you, I offend you. Now, I can be an asshole and say, well, like, you're just sensitive because possibly that's possibly what it is. But you can't tell people what offends them and what doesn't offend them. That's just how life goes, you know? So it becomes.
Yeah, but I can also be free to say whatever I want to say also.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You can. I mean, you could say whatever you want. That's the thing. I mean, you can say whatever you want.
Backlash, repercussion is what, positive or negative.
You know, you're going to get consequences regardless of anything you do or say, even if it's good. Even if I go up here and, like, write a great speech on how, like, you know, it's important to have self-worth and to find self-worth inside yourself and, you know, spread that to the masses. I can guarantee you if I put it on social media, I'm going to at least get one comment that somebody's going to be like, hey, no, that's not true. You can't do all those things. Blah, blah, blah. You suck. You offended me. So, like, I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to offend somebody no matter what you do because people are just sensitive. So it's up to you to, like, discern what you're going to stand on and what you don't. Because once it's out there, you either stand on it or you fold.
You know, I don't think we've gotten, like, one sensitivity comment besides just people trying to bash us and what we say.
Sensitivity.
I don't think there was one, like,
yeah,
because somebody thought that it was a sensitive topic.
No, we just gotten attacked. You know, I've been said that I'm I'm less of a man. Was that what the comment was or something?
Is
like
that what it said? Should I read it?
I think it said that. Oh, we should read it.
Should I read it? Can I say his name too?
Oh, I don't think we should say their name. But we should definitely
I took a picture
read
of it.
The
I thought it was hilarious.
Which one?
I sent it to you.
Oh, that one. I was talking about the one from
Or is there another one?
There's the one the one of the ones from episode 1.
No, there's
That's my favorite. That's my favorite of all our comments. The one from
oh, you're talking
1.
about the girl that posted?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about the one that I sent where somebody posted on your short when we were talking about the New York Post.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe the Post over
I believe the Post every time.
any other rag out there.
Yeah, it's like, well, no shit. I mean,
that's
yeah,
half
okay.
the reason why we have a problem.
You can believe the New York Post all you want to. It's a proven fact that they went on there and lied. Like, that is a fact. They went on there and straight up lied. Somebody went in there and wrote a freaking article that had blasphemous lies in it. So, I mean, yeah, if you want to believe them, go right ahead. But it was a lie. They said that, what did they say? That NASA said that if you, that you had to, you know, not masturbate because, you know, you can get the female astronauts pregnant because
from the sperm floating.
Yeah. That was a fucking joke. And he said that the article literally said that NASA said this.
Right.
So again, you know, yeah, fucking idiot. But believe it all you want to. No, I think this is my favorite one. It was said, obviously it was talking about the breakup, and so it said that I knew a chick for half a decade, had a serious relationship with her more than once, and this chick was willing to be the mother to your children. You felt she deserved a text. Wow. Which, okay, you want to leave your comment there? I understand. Then
and we left
got
it there
a little,
too.
No, it got a little personal. If that isn't telling about your character as a man and as a partner, I'm not sure what it is. What is? Like, well, geez, lady.
Yeah, what if it was just with that girl?
Yeah,
What if there was another lady out there that you know, you just wanted to spend your time with more?
Hey, yeah, and I mean that wasn't the case.
No, I'm not saying for this situation.
Yeah, I'm just saying
in
like,
general.
golly, man, like
she went for the dick.
Oh yeah, she was like,
She said, you know what? It's time to sodomize this guy, Kid
it's like
ISO.
this guy is just a piece of and he just parades himself around like he's just a great guy.
Right,
it's
the
like,
best. Head held high, church-going man.
dude. You know what,
Creme
though?
de la creme.
There's a point in your life where you start thinking about some of the stuff you do, and you're like, am I really a good person? And then you're like, it's either, you lie to yourself and you say,
Right.
yeah, or you just be truthful and you say no. Because if you think about it, like 99.5% of humans are pieces of shit.
Wow.
Like,
That's a high percentage.
99.5 of, like, there's like a 0.5% of people
That's
who aren't
definitely not
shit.
a real study. You're right, though. People are pieces of shit. Most of them. Most
Yeah.
of them. Not all of them. Not all of them. Like me. But
You don't think you're a piece of shit?
no, I don't think I'm a piece of shit. I think that everybody has their own decisions to make, and I don't think that I necessarily make bad decisions.
Okay.
Why are you laughing at me?
I was just saying, okay, bud.
I'm not saying that I'm like fucking God's
You
grace.
think you're a good person?
Huh?
Do you think you're a good person?
Yeah, I think I'm a good person.
Okay. I don't think you're a bad person. I just don't think, like, what is good? What does that mean then?
Yeah, but what is bad?
What is bad? I feel like,
I mean, it's a double-edged sword at that point.
okay. I mean, what would you say good is then? This is interesting to me. What would be a good person?
I don't think that there's necessarily like a way to describe good besides, just doing positive things. I don't know if that's for you or for yourself or for somebody else, but I don't think there's really a way to describe somebody being good unless you just know that they're just doing the right thing all the time.
I think that most people are out for self. Like 99.5% of people are out for self, which is not it is a bad thing, actually, because we all share Earth. So you probably should care a lot more about your fellow man. And I just think that most people are very selfish. They're only thinking about themselves. I think that in any situation that a person would have a bad consequence, I think they will try anything in their power to weasel out of that, whether that be to lie or to squill on somebody else or to, lie or squill on somebody else. Those are your pretty much two options to squill out of any most bad situations. I don't think that most people are accountable for their actions. I think that most people blame everybody else for the situations that they're in. And I don't think that makes you a good person. I really feel like most people are good when people can see them, and they will do something completely different when there's nobody around. And that's just how I feel about it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
Maybe
yeah.
I'm cynical. Maybe I just don't have faith in humanity, which you don't.
Right. But to
I
laugh
think
when I
that-
say that I'm a good person is fucking bullshit.
I'm not saying that you're...
No, because out of everybody I'm probably one of the, like, literally, bro,
Absolutely.
like, probably the most caring people you fucking know.
Absolutely. I'm not, like, when I laugh, I'm not saying, like...
No, I know. But I
Yeah.
know your laugh. And that laugh was like, oh, you think you're a good person? That's funny.
I don't think that there are good people. I think that there are better.
Well, that's not
There's
true.
like
That's not
pieces
true.
of shit people that are like
That's
low
not
on
true,
the
though,
totem.
because I wouldn't describe myself as a good piece of shit.
I feel you. I wouldn't say that you're
I don't
a piece
think
of
that's
shit
not
either,
true.
though.
I don't think that. I think that there's people out there that care more about than just themselves, and I think there's people out there that only care about themselves. And I don't think
Absolutely.
it's divided by 90-10. I think it's divided individually. And at that point, I mean, what's the risk? What is the risk? What is the reward? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's a situation where you're about to lose somebody you don't know, or you have to save your mom. I mean, obviously, then you know the choice to that. Does that
Right.
make you a bad person because you saved your mom? Absolutely fucking not. But that was a choice
Absolutely.
that you had to make.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I don't think people are necessarily bad. I think people make decisions that are bad. I don't think overall people are bad.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, there's
can agree with that
there's a
thing.
negligence in culture in universally in cultures where people lie and people snitch and people don't take accountability. But it doesn't mean that everybody lies and snitches and doesn't take accountability. Mind you, though, if somebody goes, underneath the spotlight, and again, risk and reward. If they're going to fucking get 10 years or they're going to fucking snitch on you, you know what they're going to do? They're going to snitch on you.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know if you put anybody in a bad situation and they have to choose between doing a bad thing and a worse thing, or a good thing and a bad thing. It's like, when you're talking about high scale things, you're not talking about just finding money on the ground.
Right.
I mean, what do you do? Like, for example, if somebody was coming in and beat the shit out of your mom, and you beat the fuck out of them, and that was it, you just beat the brakes off them, the cops came and they charged you for almost murdering this guy, and it was a complete situation where this you had no choice.
Right.
Would you be a bad person?
No.
You just did a terrible thing. You just beat the crap out of this guy. You did a terrible thing. Are you a bad person?
I guess not.
Or
no.
are you a bad person because somebody drove off and you saw $20 on the ground and you picked it up? And then what? You took that money and you went and bought some food for yourself and your family? Are you a bad person? That person already drove off. Are you a bad person? Yeah, you did a bad thing. You probably should have flagged that guy down and fucking maybe gave him his money back because it wasn't yours. But are you a bad person? Are you a bad person because you don't fucking give the homeless guy money? Are you a bad person?
Okay, but I understand.
No, I'm just saying, are you a bad person? Are you a bad person because you don't want to give this guy money when you know he's going to go spend it on drugs?
I would say that in those situations, are you a bad person?
Are you a piece of shit? Are you a good piece of shit?
Are you a good piece of shit? I mean, yeah, when you do bad things, no matter what the situation is.
Are you a bad person?
I believe yes. Did you do
So
it for... Hold on. Is there a good reason for why you did shit? Absolutely. How many times have we heard the saying, oh, doing a bad thing for a good reason? You know what I mean?
But I'm not talking about intentions at this point.
Right.
I'm talking about, is this person overall bad? Is this person now deemed bad? Do we throw the dunce cap on this motherfucker and throw him in the corner because he's a bad kid? He's a bad guy.
I don't think so, but
because
again...
he did any one of those situations.
No, but can I say that... I mean, when I say good... Personally, when I say good, I mean in almost that perfect amoral sense of way.
So your sense of good is higher than a lot of people's. Your standard is higher.
Probably.
So then that would make it's because it's almost like, to me,
on your spectrum though, it depends on your spectrum. That's why I'm saying, if those people did what you said in those situations, would they be bad people? When you do something bad, I guess in my head that makes you bad. I'm not saying that you don't have good reasons for doing it, and I'm not saying that that's not exactly what you should have done.
Right.
But if I kill somebody, right, and it was in self-defense, I still got a body, though, don't I?
You did a terrible thing.
I did a terrible thing.
Would you be a bad person, though?
Well, yeah.
Depending on the circumstance.
I'm saying that even throughout, no matter what the circumstance is, I did something terrible. I took somebody's life away. Yes. Was there a good reason for doing it? Absolutely. Was that still a mark against me? I think so.
I just think bad and good shouldn't be described as feelings. I mean, because it's almost like good and bad, the way you're describing them to me, as emotions. I would think that it would be an overall general thing. Like, overall, this person has done this with their life, or overall, this person has done this with their life. So, yeah, you could kind of evaluate them to be, a morally good or a morally unjust person. I mean, I don't think that it just changes by the day. I don't think one day you're bad and one day you're good.
Yeah, okay, but I have a question, right?
Okay.
So, let's say I'm a guy who's never done anything illegal.
Right. I
have pretty much told the truth every chance, no matter what, even if I get something wrong, but I'm just an asshole.
Okay.
Am I a good person? Because I don't do anything wrong to anybody. Never went out of my way, but I'm an asshole.
But you're an asshole to people.
Yeah, I'm just an asshole.
I wouldn't necessarily think that you're a bad person.
You would just say I'm an asshole?
No, I wouldn't say that you're an asshole. You're obviously hurting.
He said you're obviously... he said this is the root of the issue.
I'm just saying you're obviously hurting. Because, we could sit here and I can give you a million different examples on people that are supposed to be good people or are looked at to be good people in everyday circumstances, but are just terrible people most of the time.
Mm-hmm. I can...
Priests.
Priests. Ellen. Apparently.
Ellen DeGenerate.
Apparently.
DeGeneres, for anybody that wants to say, hey, it's DeGeneres, Blake.
Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams. Wake up with Wendy.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, bro. Trying to get handies from the masseuses.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
I think my standard for good is probably unrealistic. That's why I say that. Because I don't feel like maybe it's just the way I feel about myself then. Because I don't feel that I'm a bad person. But, you know, like, when I take those inner looks, I be not happy with, like, what it is, you know?
So do you think that you're maybe
hurting?
Projecting your own emotions on everybody else, and that's why you think everybody else is kind of, you know, a piece of shit? Because I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm like, do you not understand where this doesn't make sense?
No, like, I mean, I guess when I think of good, right, I think of perfection.
Okay, but how?
Right.
That doesn't even make any sense, though, bro. Because if you want to be anal about it, perfection is perfection. Nobody's perfect. I mean, it's literally an expression that we're only human. Nobody's perfect.
So because of that imperfection, that's why I say, well, can you say something is good, right? So think about
good is a baseline too.
That's
probably like the dullest compliment you could give somebody. Like, yeah, it was good.
That is fact.
It's a baseline compliment.
I was only gonna say this, right? When you go to the store,
okay,
and they say, "Oh, yo, this is good," right? Because it's a beautiful vase. Somebody's made just a beautiful vase. Well, if the handle on it is broken, it ain't good no more, right? If it's not perfect, if I go to the store and buy something that shit not motherfucking perfect, it's an issue. I'm taking that shit back.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a comparison between an inanimate object that has no longer good for its use anymore to a person that makes decisions and that has a conscience.
Right, but that's why
that doesn't make any sense.
But that's why I said I think that in my interpretation of good, like I said, good is perfection. I don't think that once you basically, I mean, once you can know what you're doing enough to like know, hey, I should probably not pee my pants and tell my mom, you know, that I have to use the bathroom. I think then you can't be good anymore. Once that because bro, babies lie, bro.
Right.
Babies lie.
I get it, dude.
I don't just maybe I'm just, you know, again up here perfection, but like, isn't that what we're all striving for? And it's like that's why you're never satisfied with anything. It's like, oh, well, I'm a billionaire. You know, you would think a billionaire would be happy. No, he wants to be a higher up billionaire. He wants to be a trillionaire. You know, like I'm fucking The Rock and like I'm Diesel as hell, 6'6" and shit. And it's like, well, yeah, but there's a reason that man, you know, only has like one cheat day a week and eats like shit and is always working out because he's still not happy with how he looks. You know, Beyonce.
And that has something to do with people being good and bad.
I think so. I think because being good, you would have some sort of contentment, you know? And I don't think as humans we ever have that. I don't think there's ever a point where we're truly content.
I don't think that is relevant, though.
You don't think that's relevant?
Not necessarily. I don't think us being content has something to do with somebody looking at somebody else through a third perspective of seeing if like they're just a genuinely good person or not. I don't think that somebody's inner contentness has anything to do with how they're perceived.
Okay.
I just don't. I mean, but I feel like that's like and you have a right to think that way. I'm just saying I feel like that's like a perfect example of like our different conditioning. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you were conditioned in a different environment than I was, and that's why I think this way.
Absolutely.
And don't get me wrong, like I lose faith in humanity all the time because people are just ridiculous. I mean, they can be ridiculous all the time. The decisions that people make on a daily basis just baffle me.
Absolutely.
But when it comes down to it, for me to judge them based off of that one decision and say that these are bad people is just kind of ignorant of me. And
Okay.
that's why I don't do that.
I feel you.
Because, I mean, yeah, I could say this person's a bad person because they cut me off, and they very well could have done a lot of bad things. But again, I'm not the jury nor the executioner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, unless somebody, you know, wanted to negatively affect my life in some way, then there'd be an issue. But other than that, I wouldn't describe them as a bad person.
Do you think long-lasting happiness is attainable?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Okay. Why?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Well, me personally, I don't think that once people get comfortable with things and once you possess something and you have it for a while, then it becomes less amusing and it becomes less tolerable and it becomes less exciting. And that's just because you know that you possess it. You technically own it in that sense because you can get it whenever you want. So to say that that one thing is going to give you happiness for a long extended period of time, I don't think I would be able to. I don't think that would be a thing. I think that being or cherishing something is different than being happy with something. Like my daughter, I love my daughter. You know what I mean? Like she might put me through a wall sometimes and make me scratch my head like, well, what the fuck? You know what I mean? But I'm never going to get uncontent with my daughter. I love my daughter. I cherish my daughter. But in a situation of like a place or a physical object, a possession, I don't think something like that can actually keep me entertained for that long. Can't even watch TV for too long, nonetheless, not think about the next step of what I'm going to do towards anything that I'm doing.
So, happiness, is there a way that you feel like you can attain some sort of happiness within, or is it that happiness you get from being around other people or a moment in time? Is that what happiness is? It's just a fleeting, this is a moment in time, I'm happy for this, and then, you know, something else, you know, I'm not happy anymore, and then something else comes along, and it's this moment in time that makes me happy. Is that what happiness really is?
I don't think that it's a fleeting moment in time. I don't think that it just comes and goes. Obviously, being happy is an emotion, so in that moment, you might be more happy than if something came up and now you have to deal with a problem. I really feel like, though, that happiness is a state of mind. So if you're perceiving things in a way that are going to change your opinion on yourself, your opinion on the world, then of course that's going to gild you to not be happy or not, or just not even be content. You know what I mean? If you're in a shitty situation and you can't figure out, okay, what's the next step, and you're so focused on holding in whatever happened, and now it's like, this is the end of the world, and you're not happy anymore, that's childish behavior. That's not being cognitive. That's not understanding that's not processing what's happening. That's not taking a situation, realizing what the situation is there for, utilizing the situation, and then going on to the next one. I mean, people don't realize, bro, is that we are only here for a certain amount of time. Like, I'm going to be 25 in November. You're 25 already.
Yep.
You not realize that if you go up to space right now and you literally put your hand over the earth, everything that we've ever known and we've ever loved has never fucking existed. This is our time. That's why people say that you need to make the most of what you can right now. Right now. So why would you sit there and not be happy about things? Why would you sit there and let yourself be unhappy most of the time? And I'm not going to say that you're going to be happy every single day. I'm not going to say that you're going to be happy every single hour, every single minute, because that's physically unobtainable. There's no way that nothing's going to happen in your life where you're not going to be happy, or where you're going to, you know what I mean, where you're going to be happy. And I don't know, man, I think that it's all perception. It all comes down to perception. So if you think, wow, I'm never going to get out of this situation, then you're never going to get out of that situation. I mean, we could even take it in a religious way a little bit, and we can talk about hell a little bit.
Yeah.
Hell, as they say in the Bible, you create your own hell. You're living in a loop of a sense of your life in like one of the worst moments that's happened in your life over and over and over again for the rest of your life, for the eternity. So if you take it from a religious aspect, and you're taking it from what I'm saying now, perception, if you don't live with guilt, if you don't live with grudges, if you don't live with burdens, then there's no way that you can create your own hell. There's no way that you can create your own hell on this lifetime or the next. There's no way, because your mind's at peace.
For our audience, I don't think that Blake is a piece of shit.
But Aaron might be.
Oh, I'm probably not that high up on the good people scale.
Just because you're, you're high G status
My G
level of
status,
perfection.
Yeah, absolutely. And also my love of partying, alcohol, and cheating on my girlfriend. That is a joke. I
Yeah,
don't
bro,
have
they'll clip that shit. They'll take that shit and they'll say that you're less of a man.
You're less of a man. It's like the guy who they asked him. It was on the news one time. They asked him. They said, "Hey, if you won the Mega Millions, what are you gonna do with the money?" A bunch of cocaine and hookers.
I watched
She
that
said,
video.
Oh, that's not what we were looking for.
That's not what we were looking for. I thought you were gonna say something about going to Disneyland.
Right, we gonna go to Disneyland. And, yo, why was Disneyland the place to go like 10 years ago? I swear, everybody.
Well, I think they were getting
win
endorsements
something.
from it.
They'd win something. They'd be like,
I'm going to
"We're
Disneyland.
going to Disneyland."
Yeah.
Like, dude, freaking Disneyland, it kind of sucks,
Well,
actually.
I think that everybody that was doing it, they were,
Getting paid.
well, yeah, well, not only they were getting paid, they were probably getting like a free trip there, so they'd advertise. Speaking about a bunch of kids screaming around in one place, I really wanted to talk about the population decrease, man, and why they are kind of, enforcing these abortion laws.
So, like, what, the last 50 years, population
Has been decreasing.
People are having less and less kids, which makes sense. I mean, especially since obviously inflation and stuff has hit in the last 50 years. Things have been more and more expensive. People really don't have the finances, like, especially with the trying to push out the middle class. That's happened for so long.
I mean, it's crazy, bro, because China's even changed their law a couple times from being able to have one kid to being able to have 3 kids, and it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed the percentages at all. We've still been decreasing, and it's crazy to think about, because if this keeps happening and nobody's procreating at the same time as we are building houses and building all these structures, then we are just going to keep lowering the average old age, and we are just going to die off with the population.
I have a question though now about that, because I was thinking about this. Do you think that maybe because I'm sure the increase every year in alcohol and drug abuse increases, or it's been higher and higher with the opioid epidemic and things like that. Wonder if that has something to do with it. There's so many people who are on prescription drugs, and the drinking is definitely gone up. Do you think that maybe has an effect on the amount of kids that are being born, the amount of people who? Because I mean, I don't think that people are not having sex. I just think that women are not getting pregnant as much.
I think that it might have something to do with it, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to have a kid and you guys both can have kids, even if you're abusing drugs and alcohol, eventually you're gonna have a kid.
And I don't think people are planning to have kids.
No,
like
nobody's trying. No, nobody's really trying to have kids.
Yeah, like people, and then that's the thing too. If you remember when we were younger, there was a lot more people who had like a couple brothers, a couple sisters. Now you see a lot smaller families, a lot smaller. Like people have they have their 3rd kid, and everybody's like, "Wow, 3 kids, it's crazy." Whereas like 3 kids was like normal.
Right.
2.5. That was a
White picket fence, dog,
cat,
mailman.
Yeah, mailman fucking your wife.
Milkman.
Yeah, milkman fucking your wife as well.
Right.
I mean, like, the whole block was having her. She's a whore.
Sancho.
Anyway. But yeah, no, I mean, and you would think with all those people fucking your wife, she would have more kids, but she's just plan B in it, probably.
Wow.
But anyway, no, I mean,
that's a PSA announcement. Anybody that doesn't have a kid that doesn't look like them, they better go get a paternity test right now.
Right now, go get that shit, dude.
Oh,
and make sure when you get married, she signs a prenup.
Jeez. Those could be useful.
We want prenups. Yeah.
Jesus.
It's something that you need to have, because when she leave your ass, she gonna leave with half.
Kanye knows all about
18 years. On our 18th birthday, if he found out it wasn't
How
his.
crazy is that, though? I mean, you just bringing that up right now, it's just funny as fuck to think that, like, you have this whole publicized relationship, and then you guys get divorced, and it's like, you know what? You know what would be the best thing to do right now? Let me make a diss track on her.
Let me make a diss track. Boom. You know what's funny, too? Like, Kanye made her sign a prenup.
Yeah, he did.
Yo, he should have told Dr. Dre. No, I mean, I think Dr. Dre, that was the whole thing that they were in court, because Dr. Dre had her sign a prenup, and she was trying to say, like, he forced her to do it and shit.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's when he was having his divorce, that he was having that little issue.
Didn't something happen with Dr. Dre?
What you mean?
Didn't something happen? Isn't
he was in the hospital like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in the hospital. He had I don't know what happened, but he was they were saying it was looking bad for Cuz for a second, but he had a good recovery. But that's again guys, paternity tests and prenups, the 2 P's. Don't worry about the 3rd P so much, okay? Think about those 2 P's: prenups, paternity tests. Because you don't need to be paying for somebody else's kids. And if you are divorced, that person should leave with what they came with. I think that's fair, And I'm talking to the ladies too, you don't need to worry about the 1st P, the paternity test. But prenups, if you go in the relationship and you got more than cuz, tell dude, hey, yo, I'm the G status in this relationship. So sign that prenup. G status. Sign that prenup. Nah, yeah, that ass, man. There ain't no way. But Zendaya, when we get married, don't worry about it. It's all good. You don't need to have me sign a prenup. We're gonna stay together forever.
High hopes.
Oh my goodness.
High hopes.
Dude, if I could get Beyonce to divorce Jay-Z, or I took that man out and slid in, was that supportive friend, life would be so, bro. I told you about the dream I was having, man. Had a dream, Beyonce was in it, and she picked me. It was just man, I woke up and then I was in bed alone and I was upset. And I heard the dog crying. I was really upset. I'm like, damn.
Bed was wet.
It was shitty. It was not.
Bed was wet, huh?
Oh, you know it, man. It was I was in love. I almost shed a tear, dude, cuz Beyonce, man, she's a goat of everything. No doubt about it. Great album, by the way. I love you, B. If you're watching, love you, Beyonce. Fuck Jay-Z.
Enough on that fucking spiraled rant. Jesus.
Yeah, no, I just think it's funny how when you're in a relationship, everything's cool at that first month, right? That first month is just spectacular. I mean, you guys are going on little dates, you're being spontaneous, maybe having sex at a park, just enjoying each other, And then I'm telling you, as soon as 30 days hit, that's when the bullshit starts, You call, and you're like, hey, what's up? And they're like, yo, what the fuck? You just not waking up, and it's like, whoa. Like, hey, man, I didn't even have to fucking call your ass. I don't even understand. And then, like, and as the man in a relationship, how you go in at first is how you damn near better fucking stay, or else they're going to leave you. But, like, it's almost like you don't even meet your girlfriend for real until, like, a month in. Like, that first person that you know that giggles at all your doesn't exist. You never see her again. What happens to that girl? Like, she even looks a little different, too.
Yeah.
Like, the makeup is just not as great as it was at the beginning, You come over and, like, the hair is just, every time you used to come over before, like, her hair is done, like, it looking great. Now you come over, she's in, like, a scarf and shit.
A scarf?
Yeah.
Sweatpants.
Or sweatpants. You're like, what happened to that nice little black dress I like? Oh, yeah, I got you now. Like, what the fuck? I don't get the black dress action no more shit.
No.
And then if you say, hey, can I pick out your outfit? That's a argument right there. It's like, what, you don't like what I wear? Do I not have good style? It's like, damn, no, I just, there's a black dress that you have. It's just really, really great. Because, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what your girl looks like. Her in a black dress gives her 3 points every time. I don't care what she looks like. You got a 2, she's a 5 in a black dress.
Well, to answer your first question, fucking where did that girl go? I'm pretty sure she's saving it for the next boyfriend.
Oh, so there's a limited amount of her.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't give it out all the way.
And she's probably like, yeah, so like he saw like what I could do for a month, so now I'm going to show him who I actually am, and then maybe you'll see that other girl again. And if you don't see that other girl, it's because she's doing it with somebody else.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And you know what's crazy
Fun
about
facts,
that too?
like a Snapple cab.
It's so crazy. It's like you can't do that as the guy, because then she's gonna be unhappy.
No, you're an asshole.
You're an asshole.
That's when you become the piece of shit.
Oh yeah, the piece. Oh, isn't that their favorite one too?
Piece of shit.
Oh,
yeah.
They're like, oh, you're just a piece of shit. You're just like, damn, I'm sorry. You know what's funny, bro? And then my favorite thing, my number one favorite thing about conversations with women, right? There's 2 things, right? I love when they ask you if you want to do something because they need or want to do that thing. Like something that you never want to do. They're like, hey, you want to go to the nail shop, get like a pedi and a mani? No, I never ever woke up in the morning and wanted to go to the nail shop to get a manicure and a pedicure ever in my life.
Right.
Oh. Well, I was thinking, so you want to go do that. Oh, okay. Well, awesome.
You should have let off with that.
Yeah, it's like,
go ahead.
What the fuck? Like,
Bye-bye.
I guess that's what we're doing. Or, I love when, like, you guys are watching a movie, never seen it.
Right.
And she's like, what happens next?
Or what's happening right now?
What's happening? Like, what's going on?
Well, you would know if you got off your fucking phone.
I mean, first of all, I'm watching this movie for the first time as well.
Right. You and I were spectators for the first time.
We both said, hey, this looks like a great movie. I've never seen it. So maybe,
we should watch it.
Maybe we should watch it. You can see what happens. Well, I don't like suspense. Well, why did we pick this movie? I mean, there's a million movies we could have watched. If you wanted something that didn't have any suspense, I mean, shit, we could have watched a comedy or something. I don't know. Like, I like to know what's gonna happen. Well, I unfortunately,
you know what you should do? Read up the cliff notes on it, bro, online.
What do you
then
want me to do?
Figure it out.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And then it's like, and then don't get me started on how much I love to hear about like all the gossip that's gone on in her friend group. Like, I feel like when you're a boyfriend, at some point, if she gets comfortable enough, you're just, like, part of the gossip girls and shit.
Yeah.
You just hear about, like, oh, did you know Sally's cheating on her husband with Tom?
With Tom?
And I'm just like, well, now I do.
Fucking poor Tom.
Poor Tom.
I mean, whoever the guy is that she's cheating.
It's like, damn, her husband is just, yeah. You know why she's cheating on her husband, right? No clue.
No.
He just has a small penis. Wow, now I know how.
Now I know why.
I know how big his penis is. This is great news. I'm so happy that you were telling me all of this. I mean, this is just wonderful. This is exactly what I thought about when you called me. This is exactly what I wanted.
Or somehow you just are privy to the almighty knowledge of who's the biggest bitch in their workplace.
I mean,
who's the biggest bitch?
I mean, she's just a bitch.
And then she's gonna explain every reason why.
And it's like
every reason.
She's like, I mean, all I did was take an extra 15 minutes on my lunch, and she just freaking chewed me out. Like, I need to be back on time. I do my job. It's like, well, I mean, if you're supposed to have an hour lunch and you come back an hour and 15 minutes, it's kind of on you. I mean, she's not being a bitch for telling you, but don't say that. It's like, so you're going to take her fucking side?
I think that was the funniest thing that Andrew Tate said, bro. I think that was one of the funniest things. So he made a very strong allegation saying that all women cannot drive. Mm-hmm. And obviously statistically proven that's not true.
Yeah, women can drive.
And statistically proven with the crash rates too is
no, women can really drive.
Not true, right. So it's hilarious because he was like, so the reason... Should I try?
Yeah.
So the reason... So the reason why I don't let women drive my car. No, I'm going to stop that. So the reason why I don't let the women drive my car is because I'd rather let my boy drive my car. Because if my boy crashes my car, then he's not going to come up with a reason why it wasn't his fault.
Right.
All women will just come up with a reason why it's not their fault and then tell me that I can buy a new one. My boy will go get a second job and fucking pay for that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just thought that was really funny because then it really goes back to the whole like, I'm entitled as shit, and if you think differently, then go fuck yourself.
You know, it's like...
It's hilarious, dude. Like, where does the entitlement come from? Like, is it from the pedestal? Like, where's the entitlement?
We gave it to them. You know, bro, every single... You know who I blame for this? Keith fucking Sweat. I blame Chris Brown. I blame Tracy.
Oh, you know who I blame?
Who?
Rosie O'Donnell. I believe that Rosie O'Donnell was the reason why all these feminists are just crawling out of their caves and bleaching the surface.
For real. I blame all these R&B niggas, bro.
The R&Bs? The Marios?
All the R&B niggas.
The Marios.
Because they made songs. They were making millions of dollars making songs about putting women on this pedestal about... especially Keith Sweat.
Yeah, but dude, that was a minute ago, though. That was a minute ago.
Yeah.
People aren't singing about that kind of stuff anymore. I mean, you heard the last, or no, it wasn't the last thing, but I mean, like, Maps from, like, Adam Levine.
Yeah.
Like, he was just talking shit the whole time. Like, people aren't rapping or singing, like, very, like, love note songs anymore.
Absolutely. I feel you. But what happened was...
Soul music.
What happened was all these women...
Conjugated.
Got that in them, and they were like, "Oh, okay, we're the catch." That's always been the thing. The woman is the catch. The woman is the catch. The woman is the catch. You doing all this, and then that we're putting that mindset. You know, why do a lot of men go work out? You know, yeah, okay, you can say, "Oh, I just want to be in shape," but really, you were fat. You weren't getting any play, and then you started toning up, and the girls that you were shooting your shot at was like, hey, he's not so bad. Little fat Nick over there, he kind of toned up a little bit. He looks a little good.
You know what I think?
And now you're getting some.
I think personally that since we're all conditioned, I had to bring the hands up.
Oh, it's a big point if you got the hands up.
We're all conditioned.
Yeah.
So generationally, women are teaching the entitlement to other women.
Absolutely.
And then, just like their periods, they all sync up on Bluetooth. And then, bam, entitlement. Like a magic wand.
Got it.
Alakazam.
I think that...
Cunt.
No, I really think that... Only
I don't really believe that, but it's super funny, dude. It's really funny, bro. It's just so funny. I don't understand where the entitlement comes, because I feel like as a man, you have to work yourself up from the ground for being a piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not an actual piece of shit, but it's like women think like, oh, all men are pigs, so you have to work yourself up from there. And then like all women just start here. So it's like, what the fuck?
I mean, again, this is the situation we put ourselves in, you know, happy life, happy wife.
Yeah,
you
fuck
know,
that.
all that good shit. But I mean, when I'm in a relationship, I'm happier when she's not upset. Just saying.
All right. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in to A Dose of Reality. My name is Kid ISO. That's Blake Still. We want to thank you on behalf of Dose of Reality for liking, subscribing, watching, sharing, engaging with us. We really appreciate it. Even the dumbass comments, we appreciate those as well.
We do appreciate you. Dumbass fucking comments.
Stupid ass fucking comments. But we appreciate it because that means you did watch for a little bit and whatever. So
you're still watching.
Still fucking watching if you're hearing what I'm saying. But again, on behalf of myself, Kid ISO, and Blake Still, we're A Dose of Reality. We will check you back here next time. Thanks for tuning in to your weekly fucking dose.
Deuces.
Grace told her, baby girl, you know I'm switching lanes.